The whole world has gone into isolation, and like many others, I've been thrust into loneliness. We've come across this paradigm shift where there are all these relationships moving online, not just to support the real world interactions, but to replace them. For a lot of people, this is new territory. Others are well attuned to the rigors of keeping up relationships without a face-to-face component to them. It's a surprising skill to communicate well with people online, and not everyone has it. It can be difficult to keep up the connections with people who struggle, but it's a skill we can develop and get better at, because we need it right now, to help ourselves and the people close to us. This social isolation and loneliness is quite a trial for many in the world right now, and it's essential that we get through. I owe my life to internet friends.
I first started using audio rooms in the end of grade 9, so about 6 years ago. It was about that time I made a core group of friends. We all started pretty much with gaming. So the first games we started playing was probably CSGO and Rust as well. One of my best friends online is Miles. He lives in Wagga Wagga. I've known him for about 6 years on and off. We've never met in person, but I met him through video games and now we've stayed friends over the years. Not at the time. We more just were all playing the same games and we all got along relatively well, like the whole group of 7 or 8 of us. And then just over time, as we both matured and spending enough time around each other, you get to know people better. Miles moved away from being one of my gaming friends to one of my better real life kind of friends. It's hard to quantify how important Miles' friendship is to me. It's more the fact that he's very available and positive and really easy to talk to. So we're just naturally kind of bonded and we share very similar interests.
When I got to high school, my mental health was tanking. I wasn't very close to many people, and I've never felt that I belonged. A friend of mine from school committed suicide in early 2013. I know there wasn't anything I could have done, but I still think of her, and I wish I could have been there for her more. For a long time, I thought I would be next. And I almost was. But talking to people on the internet, they were the only ones that I felt comfortable being completely honest to. They were completely random. A guy in California, a girl in New South Wales. Anonymity can do this fantastic thing of making people non-judgmental. There are a few people I'd met on Steam. It was rare that I even played multiplayer games, but just chatting to people became my biggest solace. A few years later, when I came out as trans, they didn't judge. They were invariably supportive. And I was a bit less alone.
So I went to Singapore to study at NUS, or National University of Singapore. Arrived in Singapore the first week of January before COVID stuff was happening, and then from there it just progressed. And eventually it led to me having to leave earlier than expected. And I was still active in our audio room during that period. And yeah, I had quite a few rants to Miles.
Would have been a bit scary during the coronavirus stuff though.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. So I flew over like a few days into January. I just had like a duffel bag and a backpack with everything I owned. And then I got there, met some people, it was cool. And then within like 3 weeks, coronavirus was already a big thing. And then it was just like 2 months of everything was like kind of closed. And the only thing I could really do was like go out during the day at like the food halls on campus, do my online classes.
Chill in your room. I hate when you feel stuck in the house. That's the worst feeling.
That's how I felt, but also I didn't feel like I wanted to go anywhere anyway. So I just pretty much just did that and then figured out pretty quickly that eventually I was just going to have to go home. And
Yeah.
it's a matter of time before the Australian government was like, you have to leave. I was like, all right. So I booked a flight home that day, and then I was back within like 24 hours.
It was quite hard adjusting with the reality that I was leaving early and I wouldn't be able to finish my studies either. So yeah, I think it was fairly important to have someone like Miles there just to talk to.
There are so many times in life that I've relied on the internet to pull me out of solitude. In the last year, I got back in touch with some of my friends from high school, mostly because of playing a co-op video game together. As the lockdown here in Queensland was just beginning, my dad passed away suddenly. Since then, the times have gotten darker. The only way I've gotten through this is with the internet. Getting to talk to people despite being stuck inside. My family live in different areas anyway, so my sisters and my brother had started these weekly trivia nights over Zoom. It's been more contact with them than we've actually had in a long time, and I really enjoy getting to see them more. Video calls or playing games with my friends have been high points despite everything else going on. What I've learned is that the medium, the platform, doesn't matter a single bit. The internet has created these opportunities for people to find connection with each other.
So Miles is a basketball coach and then also a referee. We watch a lot of basketball. So we'll be in Discord in our big like voice channel, and we'll just watch basketball games and then just talk about it. It'll be good in person to meet up with him and just shoot some hoops, do the stuff we enjoy already, but you know, in person it'll be a lot of fun. But it won't really, I don't think the dynamic will change, or it'll be very similar to the way it is now, but it'll just be different because we can get to shoot hoops together, and he's a basketball coach, so he can help me with my form.
Like this, that's called the Clay Thompson. You're doing the Clay Thompson here, right? Clay Thompson's where you go from the side, you've got the nice little spin, and you flick like that.
I can't imagine it'll make a difference seeing him in person. We've been talking for so many years, like there's not really anything that's going to surprise me, or it's just going to be the same, I'd imagine. So I'm definitely excited to meet Miles. Well, not meet, but spend time in person and just hang out. Yeah.
A lot of people in the world are in the same boat right now. We're all alone, yet we've got access to this incredible web of human connectedness. So let's take advantage of it. Let it be our way out and our way forward, not just through quarantine, but for the rest of our lives as well. Let's take care of our families, our friends, and most of all, ourselves. We can get through this. Let's find a way to be okay.
She's missing a really large deletion from the short arm of her chromosome 4, which means that she's globally delayed.
They were advised to isolate earlier than everybody else because her condition makes her more vulnerable to this virus.